Hey, my friends, Mark at Grace Management. So we do these videos every 2 weeks or so. And in all the years I've done these, I've never gotten good at predicting which video topics were going to be well received and have a lot of interest, and which ones were just going to kind of fall flat. Every time I'm like, ooh, this is a good one. People will like this. Nothing. And when I'm like, I got nothing, I'll talk about lending owners money. Then suddenly it blows up in a big way. Well, in the prior video that I did just before this one, we talked about what do you do when you have a bill from a vendor and you got to pay it, but you have no money from the owner. And I just went through a variety of different options that you can potentially do as a property management company to make that happen. Well, I didn't realize the firestorm I had raised, the hornet's nest I had kicked with all of the feedback and suggestions and criticisms of, oh, you never lend an owner money, Mark, because the way I ended that little segment is I said, what we do oftentimes is we will be a lender of last resort and we will lend money to our owner in order to pay the vendor bill. It was just like one little segment of the whole thing. Well, that apparently got everybody riled up. So we're doing kind of a part two. So if you didn't watch the prior video, pause this right now, go back, because 2 weeks ago, this was the title right here. It was how to pay vendors with no money from owners. So now what I'm going to talk specifically about is what we do, which is lending owners money sometimes. Now, just on the front end of that, I get it. People are like, wait a minute, Mark, that I lost all respect for you. That you never, we're not a bank, we're not a lender, we're a property management company. And I get it. In a perfect world, we would never lend an owner money. Just like in a perfect world, every tenant would always pay their rent on time and cats wouldn't exist. But my friends, it's not a perfect world. We live in the property management space where we put out fires all day, so we have to figure out how to make this stuff work. Is this a perfect solution? No, nothing is, or else we wouldn't be in business. So as I talked a few weeks ago about how to pay vendors with no money, I went through a variety of options. Let me just read to you some of the feedback and comments that I received from some of you when I talked about this, and specifically around the idea of potentially lending your owners money. Someone said, I don't think paying it yourself is the best option. Have a credit card on file. Yep, that's an option if you want to go to all of your owner clients and say, give me your credit card information. That could work. I don't see that as really viable for us, at least. Someone else said, we simply tell our vendors that we pay net 30, like we hold bills for 30 days. Helps us out 90% of the time. Makes a lot of sense. You can certainly do that. But then somebody replied to their comment on this and said, we do the same, but often that frustrates the vendor, which is a very good point because vendors can get frustrated. Here's a couple other emails I received on this topic with questions or suggestions for me. I saw you said that you loan your owners money for bigger repairs. This is something we've thought about doing lately. Picky, of course, which owners we would do this with, but we've struggled to find an attorney who recommends doing this, and furthermore can provide the paperwork for us to be covered in case of default. And what type of collateral would we get if the owner stopped paying, wanted to leave before it was paid off, or if the tenants didn't pay rent and we weren't able to collect? How do you overcome those concerns? Great question, Brian. Great question. Another email, Mark, we use option 5 at several times. I've used option 5 several times. Option 5 was lending your owner money. Do you charge interest? How are you logging the loan in your PM software? We've struggled to find the best way to do it. Good question, Blake. One more here from Hunter. Mark, thanks for the video. We run into the situation from time to time as well. I've never gone through the loan the owner funds route and would love to hear more about this from you and how you guys are doing it. My biggest question or concern is, are we then becoming a lender and have to deal with state or federal lending laws, licensing, etc.? All very valid questions. So let me share for the next few minutes how we do this little program of ours, which in essence is we have a bill to pay, we have no money from the owner from which to pay it, and we need to get it paid. What do we do? So a couple things, 7 points on this. Point number 1 is the goal here, the whole goal, big picture, let's pull back, is you got to keep this thing simple. Okay, we are not a bank. I'm not going to go sign paperwork to give my owner client $375 to pay the plumber bill. Okay, so we want to keep it simple, number 1, and just as importantly, we've got to keep our vendors happy. That is a necessity in this whole process. So an option is not this. It is not an option to be like, well, I guess the vendor's out. No money from, sorry vendor, the owner doesn't have any money. You'll have to wait until I get the money. If you want to quickly whittle down your vendor pool, that's a great way to do it. So for us, that's not an option. We're going to pay the vendors and we're going to keep it simple, okay? That's the goal here with this. So what do? It's not a moneymaker for us, meaning this isn't a way for us to generate ancillary income. We charge no interest. Now you may be scratching your head and say, well, Mark, why? Like this makes sense. You could charge interest. And I'm not saying you should not charge interest. We just don't. Some of it's state regulation stuff. Auditors have said, yeah, probably not a best practice to do that. So this does, to the last question there that I believe Blake brought up, this keeps us out of the lender side of things because we're charging no interest. This is just a good faith, hey, I'm going to forward some money on your behalf and I'm going to expect to get it back from you on the back end. Now, I know you're concerned about me. Don't worry. We are not losing our minds on this, and we're not losing money on this either. But it's not a moneymaker. It's simply a business process to keep things moving forward as we go. Now, let me tell you what is a moneymaker before I get into the next topic, and that is utility profit. One way that you can make money without doing any work, just doing your existing job, is through using my friends at Utility Profit. One of the challenges we all have is tenants move in and we have to do what? Transfer utilities or have them transfer utilities. And you're like, I don't even know who the water company is. Who is the electric company on 1, 2, 3? I don't even know who it is. I got to make sure they get it transferred. The utility company says they won't do it. I don't know it's a mess. Well, that's where Utility Profit can come in. They have automated a lot of this. So they white label a page on the website. The tenant logs in. They give you a dashboard, which is really, really slick. They give you a dashboard that you can see. Tenants go in, tenants know, oh, here's the contact information for the water company, for the utility company, for the cable company. They just click away. They get that transferred. They can upload statements back into the dashboard. You can see with the little pretty check boxes when it's done. Then at the end of the day, they're able to pay you a percentage of the money they make from cable companies and internet companies when they make their money on that side. This costs you nothing. It makes you something, and it's a great way to make sure that the utilities are taken care of. I was at a property management dinner just a few weeks ago, and a gal next to me, out of the blue, she goes, Mark, do you use Utility Profit? Because we're using them and we love them. We'll link to them here, jump on their website, get the demo, find out how they can not only help you improve your utilities, but make you some money so that you don't have to charge interest to your owners and look under the mattress for the money there. All right, step number 3, we do not promote this as some big owner benefit. So we don't have a big flashing sign on our website that it's like, we lend money for free to our owners. Like, this is something we keep in our back pocket. And it is referenced in the property management agreement that we can, if we lend money, that we have the option of even charging interest. I believe it says in our PMA, we don't charge interest, as I said. But this is not a big flashing owner benefit option. It's just something we do on the accounting side to keep our books clean. It's an accounting function, not a you should sign up with us because we will lend you money for free. You'll never hear our property manager say that. We don't do it on vacant make-readies. This is important as well. Okay, when a property goes vacant and we have to go in and do carpet and paint and cupboards and it's a $10,000 make-ready, we're not like, well, let's lend the money to the owner. We don't do that. This is only on those emergency occupied things. If a property is vacant, we're not approving work to be done until we have the money in hand. This comes into play when we had to approve the work to be done because it was an emergency, it was required by law for whatever reason. Those come up from time to time. We had to have it done. It's tenant occupied, and now we're stuck with a little vendor bill. That's the only time this is an option for us. So we're not just spitting money out to our owners as lenders. Number 5, the way we handle this is we actually transfer funds and we show it on the owner's ledger. So I have a separate checking account we call our short-term loan account. We keep some of our money in this account. So when it comes up time and we're getting ready to close out the account and we're like, oh, we got the vendor bill, no money, what do? We actually, from an accounting standpoint, we physically move the money. So $500 goes from our short-term loan account into our owner's trust account, goes onto their general ledger, and we show it on as a loan from Grace Management. So money physically goes into their account and it shows as an owner loan. We then pay the bill, which zeroes out their account. Then we're either going to get the money from the owner, like we still requested, hey, we need some money from you. So we'll either get it from them, or if we know the rent's going to make it up next month, we'll let it ride a month. That's just fine. So next month the rent comes in, we look at all the numbers again, and we're like, oh, there's the money to pay us back. So every month, money's going in, money's coming out. That's the way it's going to work from an accounting standpoint. So they're going to see a loan on their owner's statement. There's no paperwork beyond the property management agreement. So we don't say, hey, we'd like to pay this vendor bill for you, Mr. Owner. So please sign here allowing us to do so. There's a statement in the PMA. We just do this. Because why? We want simplicity. So we're not having them signing loan docs. There's no collateral. Now, we've been doing this for years and years and years. I really believe over the course of many, many years, and a lot of money out and a lot of money in, we probably have been burned for maybe $500 or $600 over the course of a decade doing this. So, and the reason is, which is the last one, we track it like a hawk. We watch this stuff. We're calling owners when the loan is made, if it is a significant loan amount. We're asking for that money. We're making sure we get it. We're making sure we track it. We bring it back in when we bring it. So this isn't just kind of a free-for-all. How much money have we lent out this month? Like, I know, I get emails on this stuff when the loans are made. So we're tracking it very, very closely. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying it's an option for you to consider, and it's worked well for us with these parameters in mind. Hey, I hope that's helpful. If you want to hear more about this, as well as how we operate our business, I hope to see you in just a couple weeks in Colorado Springs at the NARPM Broker Owner event, the National Association of Residential Property Managers. I'll be attending that event, and then at the end of the event, we're doing an add-on bonus day where for a full day, I'll be training property managers on how to run a successful property management business. They have 150 slots they opened up. Last I heard, there was about 130 sold. They've got about 20 spots still open. So if you're going to be at that event, and I encourage you to do so, you have to sign up additional on the NARPM website directly. I hope to see you there in Colorado Springs. But until then, and as always,